Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Sunday, February the 19th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly open and gap. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. So we'll take a look at the weekly, and we can see we've got a few gaps that have not filled. The pound gap down, and it has filled. We are 19 pips below the weekly open, now 20, and we're coming off the high, almost 2 pips, 28 pips off the low. Notice price is in the launch pad. If we take a look at the monthly, you can see we're 275 pips, now 276 below the monthly open, 128 above the low, and 358 off the high. And we're coming into the, let's see, next, or actually it's the last full trading week of the month. We have a couple of days next week, but remember, today, Monday in the USA, is a bank holiday, so there might not be much price action. Taking a look at the daily, we're putting in the opening range here. Notice we're in the opening range for the year. We're below the opening range for the month. And for the year, we're 46 pips below the yearly open. So at 1.2089 yearly open, that's a significant number. If we're going to have a turnaround, that's a number that you might want to keep on your chart. Just put a horizontal line on there. We are inside the inside bar range on the weekly inside bar that happened 8 weeks ago. Range, no pairs have ranged over 100 so far, and we are 8 hours into the trading day. So just remember, US, probably not much price action, but that's not going to stop the Asian session nor the London session. You can see we crisscrossed the weekly open, crossed below, crossed above, touched, crossed below, crossed right back above, and we've been going up. So once again, we are in the launch pad. The open was below that launch pad, so price moves up to the launch pad from the open. That's usually a sign that it's going to launch. You can see right here, there was that open gap. This is the H1 chart. Rats, range too low. No time for rats at the moment. Pivot trading plan, Bambino flex indicator says to go long. Near the pivot, go long. We haven't hit the pivot yet. Down at 1.2002. And you can see here we're below that weekly pivot. Once again, we haven't hit the daily. We haven't hit the weekly. But we have taken out the monthly. We are heading into the upper wick zone, which happens to be in the launch pad. So there's 2 reasons if it breaks for it to head back north. And last week we had a pretty decent range on the weekly. Right now only 30 pips. So really not much to report on that, on the range. We're probably going to look for at least 200 to 300 pips this week. On the price action simple chart with the Walmart lines, you can see the Walmart lines are at 40 and 50. And it looks like this hour is starting to come back down. Notice the H1 ranges are muted. Wall mall method is usually not traded during this time. It's really important. It's kind of like fishing. You got to know when the fish are going to bite. So you really need to know when the pair you trade is going to be active. That's one of the reasons I used to trade euro yen, because that pair was almost always active. Now, looking at the higher low, lower high, we also have the 3LZZ indicator, and you may have noticed I made a modification over the weekend to it, and I'll be posting it and sending it out. I put in the labels for the support and resistance lines, how many bars ago it occurred, and the distance from the line. And there was a trader posted a comment on one of my old videos about the 3LZZ and was saying about it repaints. It's just like, God, I'm so tired of that argument. It doesn't repaint, it updates in real time. So when it starts to push down, you're going to see a ball appear. And then it might keep pushing down. And the thing is, the 3LZZ is not a reversal indicator. It's a breakout indicator. It's saying, hey, price is breaking out. And so, you know, they were talking about, well, what good is it? Well, you know, if you move up to, say, maybe the H4 time frame, or even the H1 time frame, or even M30, what you'll see is what the market structure boys like to talk about. And how I like to do it is, if you come into the 3LZZ indicator and you have the TR mods to true, then you come down, where is it? Your support resistance level, I've got it set at 1, that's the default. But if you turn it to 3, you see you're only going to get S3 and R3 lines, meaning resistance and support off the 3 ball. This isn't the pivot S3 and R3. Let's just make that clear. So what you'll see is how it really marks price. So right here, you see this 3 ball? And then you see this 3 ball, price usually likes to go 3 ball to 3 ball, and you see it broke it, and look where it stopped. There's a 3 ball 413 bars ago. And if we scrunch it in, you can see it right there. And you see how price reversed there? And then it broke, and then it came back. And if you're into those Quasimodo trades, once again, the market structure boys, but you see price came back down, came back up, touched it. Let me expand that chart so you can see. You see it came back up, touched it, down, back up, and then broke through. So what you really want to look for is price crossing those lines. And you see here, what's this? I would call that a return bar, that big black bar. And then what happened? Price came back, pretty much hit that level, and then it reversed. So once you learn how to read the charts, what good is it? It gives you places where price is likely to come back to and then react. Either it's going to reverse or it's going to break through. And so how do you know which one it's going to do? You don't. That's why you have a stop loss. So for example, you can see here, out of the number of bars that we're looking at, you know, price really hasn't made any low. But if you move up, you can move all the way up to D1. And you see, maybe if it breaks here, there might be a good chance it comes down here. If that's too much for you, if you want something a little bit closer in, well, here you've got the 3 balls on H4. And once again, you can look and see, you got support, all these support areas right here. Some of them are really old, but you can see here you had all this support. It came down, reversed, came up through that lower high, came up through that 3 ball, didn't really reverse, and boom, it shot up. Once again, what good is it? Well, it's telling you, hey, if it clears this line, chances are it's going to go up. And what do we have here? It kind of looks like a return bar to me. Maybe price will push up to this level, 54.8 or so. Maybe it won't. Don't know. So you have to take your chances. It's all about risk. This is what trading is, more about risk than anything else. How much are you willing to lose on a trade? That's your risk amount. And you see here, if you once again go with the market structure, boys and girls and non-binaries, you got a 3 ball on the top, a 3 ball on the bottom. What do you have here? A lower high. What do you have here? A lower low. So what's the most likely thing to happen? It's probably going to come up here, maybe in this area, and then maybe go back down lower. So look for price to maybe get up around the 64 level and then drop back down. And this is just happens to be a higher low. So that's how you can use the 3-level ZZ indicator to plot out your price turn points. And if you want to, you can use 1 balls or 2 balls, but these 3 balls, they're pretty golden. And as one trader I was watching a video says, you know, price is fractal, meaning that you're going to see the same thing on the lower time frames as you see on the higher time frames. And you can see it happening right here. It's ranging. But what's it doing? It's starting to make lower lows, lower highs. Price just going to turn down. So every time it gets up in this area, you might want to look to short. And where might it stop? Well, it could stop at this blue line, this level of support, or it might come all the way back down here and then maybe even further. But if you look on the M1, you got a low, a high, higher low, higher high. So you have conflict. That's why you have to pick something and trade it. You don't know. You can't predict. No crystal ball. Quick look here, 486 range on the month. Let's look at that ATR again. ATR 642. So we need to move the needle, or we're just going to have a lower range for the month. Price action, price turning up, buyer strong control, pivot, fade to pivot to sell. We'll just have to see what happens. So, fellow traders, I hope you had a fun and safe weekend. I hope maybe you learned something about the 3LZZ indicator. Like I said, so many people say it repaints, and it doesn't. And it doesn't matter, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.